All right, so here I am on my last layer after kind of moving a lot of things together, playing with levels and adjustments a little bit. Now I'm building on top of that. So I'm going to call this my final pass layer. And you'll even see this in my photo gravure. You'll see the little paint strokes here that are on top of the photo. Those are kind of final pass paint strokes. Little details, little darkening around the eyes, kind of bring it all together. So this is where I'll do the rest of my work, at least for the black and white portion of this. So I've shrunken my brush a little bit, and I just go right into modeling. I'm at about a 70% opacity, and I'm trying to tackle some of the areas that are problematic, that I'm not as confident about. And I'm going to open up my brush a little bit because I still have it on pressure sensitivity for size. And gosh, take the opacity down a little bit so I can mix these colors without working quite so hard. And then once I think I'm ready for it, I'll be able to go to a pretty high opacity, really thin brush and get some of these like finished hairs sitting on top. But I want to build up a little bit more variation in the values first. Still trying to be bold. Not trying to be like a photo retoucher and be really nitpicky. Still be painterly, but get the shapes and the values right. And sometimes even though you're working on little details like I am here around this eye, it's kind of out of focus. I'm not zooming in because I need to see how it works with everything around it. Right now I'm less interested in the individual eyes as I am in the shape of the glasses, how they're framing everything. Now, all the skills we're practicing here and utilizing are just drawing skills and painting skills, recognizing values, controlling edges, mixing and manipulating color to some extent, though I'm not. I'm mostly keeping it monochrome. And the only way to get better at these things is to practice them. The most common misconception people have about digital art is that it makes these things somehow easier. And that's just not the case. It just is a tool that allows you to play with them a little bit more experimentally. But there is no full education in illustration or in digital art that doesn't have to be supplemented with traditional art study, academic study. That's what helps you notice things like the cast shadow underneath the glasses, the thickness or thinness of highlights, the sharpness of their edge, how important that is to the illusion. There's countless things that can be improved with practice and observation. So by having it all on this final layer, I can cut right into the edges and refine them, paint out from them, change it up a little bit. And there are tools I can use like the blending tool, but I want to keep that texture running through the brush as much as possible. All right, that looks about right. That's what I'm looking for. I just need to get the top of those glasses. And it's like when we were doing the creature composites and we were kind of cutting out soft textures. When you have transparency, like with the hair, you want to kind of break it up at the edges, whether you have a background or not. Here I can just kind of paint it in, or you could just erase it out. You need to show a little bit of that transparency, that thinness. Little details, little flyaways. That'll give it more believability. You just get that by working it back and forth, really paying attention to the values. All right, where does it need more of that? Definitely here in the beard. Need more of these kind of broken up edges. Little flyaways. Soften it up, extend it a little bit beyond the edge. If you have everything else placed right, then you can just kind of grow things like glasses and facial hair, and they should just kind of sit correctly where they need to within what you've built.